trout fishing. But in order to trout fish, you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know what bait to use, how to cast a rod, all kinds of different things. With that being said, today's lesson is gonna focus on the different baits. We're gonna focus on 3 different baits and how to rig them up in order to catch some fish. Let's get it. All right, the first bait we're going over today is the spinner. This is a spinner, as you guys can see. So basically, the purpose of a spinner is this little blade right here, this gold blade. As you're reeling it in, it spins. So the light off of this spinner is what attracts the trout. So you got to know how to tie one of these up. So I got my line here and I have my spinner here. So what you'll notice, you'll see all these lines up here. That's from where I used it before. But you see that little hole right there? That's where the line will go through. And then once you get it through, you're going to want to let it fall down just a little bit, like that. And then what I do from here is I grab my spinner and I twist it. Make sure you keep a hold of the line with your finger up top. And I'm going to twist it. And when you're twisting, you got to be careful because this spinner has 4 hooks on it. So you do not want to get yourself with the spinner. So you're going to keep twisting. Maybe. There we go. And then once you twist it enough times, I take the line, the end of my line, and I put it through this bottom loop right here. And then I grab the other side and I simply pull it tight. And that's how you rig up a spinner. Alrighty, so the second bait we're going to go over today is the artificial bait. This right here is known as a trout magnet, and even though it's really tiny, it still attracts trout because we're going to put it on a jig head today. And this is what a jig head looks like. So this jig head, what makes it different from a regular hook is this thick piece up top has extra weight, so it's easier to get down into the water. And when you put the artificial bait on, in this case a trout magnet, it's going to imitate a fish because this has a tail. It's going to hang down, and when it's slid up all the way, it's going to imitate a fish. So this is simple. So how you're going to rig this up is you're going to grab the jig head here. You're going to grab this trout magnet, and you can use a minnow, you can use anything that's artificial, and you're going to slide. You're going to put it on the edge of the hook there, and you're going to slide it all the way up the jig head. So it should look something like that. And as far as tying, you tie it the same way, but you're going to put it through this little hole that you see right here with the other line sticking out. And that right there is an artificial bait, and that's how you rig up a jig head onto the fishing line. All right, for the last bait we're going over today, we have power bait and salmon eggs. So what attracts trout to these baits is just the smell. So for example, these right here, these salmon eggs, chartreuse garlic, they smell like straight up garlic, and it's really strong. And like as you can see, they come in ball form, and this power bait here, you can roll up into a ball. So how you rig this up is you're going to want to take a small hook, something, you know, about the size of this, this is a size 10 hook. You can see the sizes when you buy the hooks, but the smaller the hook, the better, because the trout won't be able to see it. So instead of using the actual salmon egg or power bait today, I'm going to use just this little ball I have off of an artificial bait that imitates the same thing, except it doesn't smell, obviously. But salmon eggs and power bait are kind of expensive, so I don't really want to waste one. But all you do for this is you're going to take your hook and you're going to grab your salmon egg or power bait that's rolled up, and you're going to do the same thing as we did before. You're going to put it on the end there, and you're going to slide. You're going to slide it up. Like that. So the reason you want to slide that up is because if you barely put it on the hook, when you cast it, it's more likely to fly off. So that you want to slide it up the hook just a little bit. And that is how you rig up salmon eggs and power bait. That wraps up our lesson today on rigging up a pole using 3 different baits. Hope you guys learned something. Let's go catch some trout.